from Good Shepherd, and we're so glad you joined us for this Q&A session about Our Future is Strong. Really pleased to have with us today our board president, Catherine Bowe, and my name, if you don't know, is Julie McLeod, and I'm the head of school. So,
thank you, Julie. It's such a pleasure to be here, and just want to say how proud our board is of you, your administration, the faculty, staff, our students, and their wonderful parents for the way you navigated through the pandemic this year. And I think it was very successful. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. As you know, it takes a village. It takes everybody. So I am also proud about what we've been able to accomplish.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about the year from your perspective.
Well, the thing that I love is that we've really been able to bring back so many things that we missed last year. We did start the year, we were hoping it would start more like we're ending it now, but we did have to have some additional COVID protocols as we began the year. Really excited, though, to be able to gather in person. You know, started with the back to school fiesta and has just continued to blossom through the carnival and the Lone Star Shindig, music sharings, just all kinds of ways that we have been able to come together as a community. And that bonding has been really crucial for us this year.
Oh, that's fabulous. And what are new things, new events that you had this year?
Yeah, we have, believe it or not, as if we didn't have enough going on, there's been some great new things that have happened this year. And it's been just a year of trying some different things that, for example, one of my favorite things that we tried this year was with our 8th grade students to have a musical performance that integrated all of the fine arts and involved every single 8th grader. And so they did Shrek the Musical a week or so ago. It was phenomenal, funny and tender and, you know, so great. Got some kids out of their comfort zone, which is perfect. So really, really great. And really just things like our middle school schedule. We were able to open up some exploration classes. And those have been really, really powerful. Things like Podcast Power and the kindness class, and they have really taken the learning that kids do in school and given them a way to apply it to something that feels very real and a way to connect with the community. And then even things like at our Festival of the Arts, we recognized 12 student artists. That was really wonderful. We had local artists come in, a panel, and judge artwork. And we have some incredible artists in this community. So really just a lot of wonderful new things going on as we are so happy to be back together and happy to be figuring out how to do this back together thing again, right?
Exactly. No, I can really appreciate that, to be back together, and how with gratitude everyone is for those connections. So what can we look forward to for next year?
Well, there will still be some things that will continue to grow and evolve and adjust and tweak and try new things. So you'll see there's always funding things that we have during a current year that then get implemented over the summer or the following year. So the early childhood garden that we had to move because of the Encore Tower project and a redesign in our CCL area are both things that you'll see. We also are going to be updating the lighting and sound in Kincaid, so more wonderful musicals can happen. And the marquee in Lower School Carpool, a new website, things like that are all coming down the pike. And really just a return to the experiences of Good Shepherd that people know and love.
And what do you think that you and your faculty and staff have learned from the last couple of years?
That one was a pretty tough one for me to think about and answer, because I'm not sure I have enough distance from it yet. But if I think about really what I appreciate about these last few years, it's really magnified the things that are really important. It has helped us to recognize how crucial it is for us to be able to be in person together and engage and connect as a community together. That family and school partnership being very strong is so important. And then really just how lucky we are at Good Shepherd, because we have such a strong family community, such a strong board of trustees, such a strong faculty staff that we really pulled together. And no one was having fun during the pandemic exactly, but we were able to do it in a positive way that kept the focus on what do the children need, and that speaks volumes for everyone in this community. Yeah. So I actually, while I have a chance, would love to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Okay. So a lot of the parents who might be watching today really were able to see many of the changes and adjustments the school had to make in order to navigate the pandemic. They may not have been quite as aware, or it may not have been quite as visible what the board needed to do to adjust. But we do know the board did need to adjust. So talk about what that looked like at the board level during these last few
It's a
years.
great question. So typically the board, is very high level, strategic, looking to the future. What happened during the pandemic, as I know you're intimately aware, was the board needed to be involved much more, not in the day-to-day operation of the school, but just because it was such a difficult time and we were all looking to what was best for our students. And so we were much more involved during that period, certainly at the board level, at the executive committee level. The officers were much more involved with you on a pretty much daily basis there for a while, as you recall.
Yes.
But the really joyful thing about this, for me at least, is, and for the rest of the board I know, is that this semester we've been able to really start focusing back on long-term goals, critical thinking, looking at what do we think the school should be and where it should be 10, 20 years from now. And that is just such a fabulous place to be in. And also, to echo what you've said, it's just been so wonderful to be back together with the board in person and the committees in person. Less Zoom land. So I think, it was a real learning process for us. And but again, that partnership that you talked about at the board and with our parents and with the staff has been invaluable for us.
Agree. The generative thinking that the board has been doing is really energizing for me personally.
Absolutely.
And I see all the trustees really engaging deeply in that work. Some of our families who are listening might say, hey, that work really interests me too, and I care a lot about the school. How might they get involved in the board?
Sure. Well, it's an application process, and I think there'll be an e-blast. It starts in January, so we've just gone through the process for next year's board. But in January of 2023, they should look for an e-blast. The application is actually accessed online. It's not a difficult application, so it won't take very long. And then there's an interview process that happens. So whether they want to be on the board or on a committee, I encourage everyone to apply.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I know you have a busy schedule, and this is a volunteer thing for you, and we really appreciate all that you have done, all the time you've spent, and the way your heart is poured into every decision you make.
Well, it is, as you know, my pleasure. I love this school very much, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. All right, thank you for joining in with us today, and we might have some additional episodes of this kind of Q&A for Our Future is Strong as we navigate through the next few years. But we are really, again, appreciative of all that you've done these past 2 years, and we are so excited about what our future holds.